fighting, the local council system because I've experienced homelessness in the last 6 weeks.
Wow.
Fighting the NHS and maternal physio care because I experienced a pelvic organ prolapse after having Odin, and I was told it's not an issue, it doesn't affect your day-to-day life, give up your sport.
Wow.
Fighting that. But there's been so many fights I'm having to have all the time. I'm in the middle of a police investigation case for myself to do with child grooming and sexual abuse from the first gym I ever went to. I'm in the middle of fighting that.
FightWeek Show fans, I can't believe who we got here. We got Molly Lindsay here. She's joining us this afternoon. We've had some scheduling problems, but the main thing is we're here. We're here right now, and we're delivering Molly Lindsay to you. How are you doing, Molly? Thank you for joining us on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you.
No, you're fantastic. It's really, really good having you on the show, because getting some of your perspective when it comes to this fight game is also important. For people out there, for our audience, and maybe for people that that want to take onto MMA, that that's been in your show, currently in your shows.
Yeah.
So let's get cracking. You have an Army title bout with Cage Warriors coming up on the 8th of October.
Yeah.
Is there any, before we get started, is there something that you want to tell us about your gym, yourself, and all of that to our audience before we get cracking?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this is my first fight back in I think just under 3 years. I had a little boy. I've moved counties, so I've moved from Essex up to Northampton. I'm with BST now.
Yeah.
So it's been a crazy journey to get here. So I'm just really grateful to have like a fight booked, and I'm finally doing it. Well, I had a baby at the start of COVID and lockdown, and changing gyms and moving as a single parent and trying to balance being a parent and training. It's just been crazy. So I'm just really grateful and just really excited for the fight now. So I think a lot of people have followed my journey from back when I was fighting before I had my little boy. So it's been a whirlwind. If you've been following the journey, it's been crazy.
How do you feel it inspires you? Because of obviously what you had to go through during the pandemic, and now you're back into like the fight mode. But how does it inspire you into that fight mode?
I feel like motherhood and fighting is like two opposite sides of the same coin. They're both really instinctive things. They're both really natural things. So, instinctively, I have this maternal drive. And then as a human, we have this fight or flight survival mode that we go into. So it kind of feels similar in that way. I'm not going to sit and say like I do all this fighting for my son to give him a good life and all of that. I could earn a lot more in the long run, doing a lot less sitting in an office, and provide more. So it's not really for him. But one of the ways he inspires me is, I don't want to tell him, oh, you can do anything you want. Your dream can come true. Just work hard. And he's like, okay, mum. Yeah. So like, what have you done then? And I'm like, oh no, I'm just telling you though, innit? So like, just listen. Like they don't listen to what we say, we model to them. So the fact that he's with me throughout this whole journey, this really imperfect, human, messy, fumbly journey, he will know that he can do anything he wants to do, and it's hard work, and it's your life takes all these turns off the path you thought you're on, and then you're back, and then you cross over, and it's just chaos. That's life, isn't it? It's part of the excitement and the challenges and the rewards. So I think him just witnessing all of that and me not hiding any of it is setting him up to have a good belief system in himself.
Talking about just taking a little bit step back, what made you get into this crazy sport in the first place? Because like now we established you're not really doing it for him. What's really drawn you into this sport?
I think I always was someone with a personality that thrived on having a challenge. I think I sort of gave like a boxercise class a go, and then found like my local martial arts gym, and it was really watered down stuff, not great stuff. But I did kind of dabbled for a little while, and then I found like a gym that was teaching actual MMA. Ronda Rousey was about the time, and I was like, oh, that looks really hard. I'll give that a go. And then I had my first fight, and I did all right, and I really enjoyed it, and I love that. Fighting takes you to the lowest of lows, and so it gives you the highest of highs, and it's taught me so much about myself. And then there's been so many hurdles along the way, so many factors, so many reasons for me fighting, that it's just accumulated over time, and here I am.
What's the hardest part of taking, you know, the time off that, you know, that you've taken away from fighting and bringing yourself back into fighting? Because we've heard some people like Dominic Cruz say there's no such thing as octagon rust or something like that. What's that like?
In terms of the ring rust thing, I can let you know after the 8th, I guess. Oh, I haven't really stopped training, to be honest. I mean, I trained right up until a week before I gave birth. I was throwing kicks on pads. I was, you know, back to just doing mobility and joint strengthening stuff 2 weeks after having my little boy. I've been chipping away at this. Everyone, you know, sees it as I've not been around for the last 3 years, but I've been in the background, you know, just grafting with my head down and doing what I can do. And regardless of the situation, whether I've been asked to leave a gym or I'm moving county or, you know, I'm fresh after giving birth and I'm limited, or limited training partners, whatever it's been, I've always been doing what I can manage. So I'm excited to show this version of me, because it's not like I'm just picking off where I left off. I'm a completely different version of myself, and we've made sure throughout this camp I've had some heavy sparring. Like, I'm rocking some bruises now, you know, but I've really pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I've gone to other gyms, I've been sparring other girls, and that's something I never would do before. It was, you know, I'd be anxiety riddled, and now it's working on those nerves. It's working on that pressure. It's putting myself under that competition style pressure, that fight style pressure, and still performing. So yeah, I don't know if there's such thing as ring rust. I mean, come fight night, it's pretty scary either way, isn't it? You're getting in there to fight someone, but I've done everything I possibly could to prepare myself for this, and this hasn't been like an 8-week camp for this fight. And like I said, it's not even about the opponent. This has been 3 years of me overcoming hurdles I couldn't have even imagined for myself. So like, I feel more than prepared. You know, for everyone going through things all the time, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here in honesty with a smiley face and saying this is the best I've ever felt. Everything's running smooth. I've got the ideal. It hasn't been. It's been a mess. You know, I'm a mess half the time. Everything feels like a fight for me right now. You know, getting Odin dressed off the potty into the car on time to get to training on time, getting him to sit so I can just warm up. You know, I mean, fighting, you know, the local council system because I've experienced homelessness in the last 6 weeks.
Wow.
Fighting the NHS and maternal physio care because I experienced a pelvic organ prolapse after having Odin, and I was told it's not an issue, it doesn't affect your day-to-day life, give up your sport. You know, fighting that. But there's been so many fights I'm having to have all the time. I'm in the middle of a police investigation case for myself to do with, you know, child grooming and sexual abuse from the first gym I ever went to. I'm in the middle of fighting that. There's every day there's something I'm fighting. So for 9 minutes in a cage with someone that can't possibly throw anything at me that is worse than what I've already been through in life, it's just exciting to me now, you know. And I'm being honest with all of this, not because I want pity or I'm feeling sorry for myself, but this is unreal, and everyone else has got shit going on. We're all in the mix of stuff. And it's about just turning up every day and giving your 100%. And my 100% looks very different every single day. You know, some days I have such little capacity to even absorb what my coach is telling me, because Odin's had 7 tantrums on the way here and I have had 0 sleep, or, you know, I'm on low calories now and all of that. I think it's about being honest with yourself in it. And we should all start being honest with this process, because us glorifying it and romanticizing it, you know, I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, everyone's having such a good time. Their fight camp's smooth. They've got no injuries. Their weight cut's gone so smooth. Their kid listens to them all the time. It's just not true. And I'm exhausted of seeing it all. So I think it's about time we just start being honest.
All these things you're saying just makes me even want to wish you all the success in your next fight. I so want you to win this fight. I feel for you. I feel for you. You once said in an interview that your child is like a mirror to you. So anything you struggle to deal with, your child is a reflection of.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest things I'm grateful for since becoming a mum. It is like nothing else. I've been in therapy the last 3-ish years, and all of that is looking at working what your triggers are and where that comes from in yourself, from your childhood, all of that sort of thing. And when you've got like a mini version of you that copies what they see, and they are born just in innocence, they don't have this social conditioning, they don't have, you know, they're born solely with instinct, and then they copy what they're modeled. So you know, I grew up in a household where things had to be really clean and in order, and, you know, quite strict in that way. My child's sitting there eating his beans and they're flicking up the white wall, you know, like that's, I could shout, I could not allow him to have beans, I could feed him myself rather than let him be independent. But actually, you can get a wipe and fucking wipe off the wall or repaint the wall. And you have to be, well, for myself, I hold myself to a very high standard with that, and I'm on myself all the time with that, to not project any of my own stuff onto him. And through doing that, you know, even like him being so loud and noisy and defiant, you know, that's going to grow into, he's going to go into an adult that speaks up for himself and doesn't just say yes to anyone that tells him a fact, or, you know, he'll question everything. And that's incredible. I don't want to squish that out of him just because it's a bit inconvenient for me when I'm trying to get out the door, go to training. But seeing that in him has allowed me to carry that into the rest of my life. So I see that in other people. When my coach says something and I think, you fucking joking? I think, whoa, is that you or is that me? And I think, oh no, yeah, I want to punch him in the throat because he's telling me to do more of these drills, and I hate them. And do you know why I hate them? Because I'm not good at them, so I should fucking do them more. So shut up and get the work done. You know, it's really about just using that to look inwards. And, you know, I'm not going to take responsibility for everything everyone says. A lot of it's their own stuff, but just having that as a tool has meant my personal development and growth, my mental health, my whole well-being, my ability to balance my life, know when I need rest, know when I need to push, has just, I've really excelled myself in such a short amount of time. And I don't think I'd have learned all of that if I hadn't become a mum when I did, you know. They're like walking little triggers. The mini versions of you, aren't they? It's just so easy to get irritated, but actually they're just trying to teach us something.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I got two myself, and you know, I learn every day from them. There's no day that goes by that you don't learn. You think you're teaching them something, but like you said, you're also learning one or two things about yourself, and you know, these are kids that are willing to push. They're willing to push you to the very limit. You know,
absolutely. Even the way you talk to them, you know, like the other day, I think he threw something. I said, right, now go and get it, and I was like really snappy at him, and he was only playing, you know. And then yesterday, I dropped something, and he was like, now pick it up. And I was like, whoa, okay, I didn't mean to. And then I was like, oh my God, that's the way I spoke to him. That's disgusting. He was just having a good time, throwing his toys around, you know. It's they're great to act as little tools to just help you grow. 100%. And it's allowed me to take those tools and apply that you know, on the mats at training, in my relationships with my parents, my friends, you know, all of that. So
are you a mixture of excited and nervous for this upcoming fight?
If you step back and look at it, physical reactions to nerves and excitement are very similar. Butterflies, sweaty, heart racing. So yeah, I mean, I have moments filled with anxiety. I have moments filled with pure excitement. And you know, sometimes I don't even know what I'm feeling, but it's all of those symptoms. I'm just looking forward to it now. The hard work is done. Like I said, it's not even been eight weeks worth of hard work. It's been years. I'm excited to see how this version of myself performs. I'm excited to see how I feel. I used to really, really suffer with fight day nerves, you know, like throwing up in the morning, crying, not wanting to even walk out. I've had all of that before. I feel like I know myself a lot better now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what tools I have in the box to help me with those.
100%.
And yeah, I'm excited to be in front of all my friends and family and perform again, you know, and put on a good show, hopefully. And yeah, I have my little boy there. He's been with me for the whole journey. So for him to be there for that as well. I'm really looking forward to it.
If you had to recommend a facet or like a skill set of mixed martial arts to just the average lady on the street,
I don't know. I'm really conflicted on how I want to answer that question. I like the idea of inspiring a lot of women to get into martial arts of some sort, whether it's judo, MMA, boxing, whatever it is. I think there's a really big focus on the minute at ladies' self-defense.
Yeah.
Which I personally don't like the approach in that way. It's really victimizing. I mean, I think everyone should know some kind of martial arts for self-defense. I think there should be more resources out there for women in terms of reporting abuse, assaults, things like that. That should be more easy to red flag. That should be more supported and have more of a support network in martial arts gyms for that. In any club, in any community. So I think women getting involved in any kind of martial arts is fantastic, and seeing more women involved now compared to before is incredible. And I've had the good, lots of opportunity over the last few weeks to train with lots of girls up and down the country, and it's been, I don't know, just filled my cup up. It makes my soul feel good seeing so many of us out there. In terms of a self-defense aspect, I think we should be having conversations with our little boys. We should be having conversations with the guys in the gym. We should be having conversations with the male coaches that are teaching females. I definitely would like to see more of an approach in terms of women's empowerment classes, maybe reframing it in that way. That's kind of how I would like to approach that question.
This situation with male coaches and inappropriate dealings with female trainers and stuff, and it's something that's plagued gyms all over the place. Can you tell us some of the challenges that women have to endure and go through just trying to get through a fight camp?
I mean, I don't know where to start, to be honest. There's not been a gym I've stepped in yet, or there's been very few I've stepped in. I haven't experienced some kind of comment, degrading comment, or I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Let alone expecting the bare basics of a bin in the toilet and some probably, 3 tampons in a basket in case you're caught out, or, let alone any of that, which we should be, we should be seeing. It's 2022. There's
right.
numbers of women's on the mats. I mean, I could go in on this. There are men that I think use the authority of coaching and abuse that power. Us women are looking up to you guys, and you want to go as deep as saying a lot of it comes from us having absent father figures. It's a really common thing, and we're out here seeking this masculine energy. We want to get into martial arts. We're seeing this coach that's a male, and they become our father figures, and we're being manipulated with that. I'm in the middle of an investigation from the first gym I went to, whereby I mean, I can't say too much. It's to do with the coach there, and the allegations that I'm making. I'm being backed on and being investigated. That I was groomed and sexually abused. I've been manipulated. That power of authority has been abused. And once this case is cleared up and I'm a bit more further down the line with it, I'll share my story. That's my first experience in a martial arts gym, where I'm just wanting somewhere to go, a community to go. I said I wanted to fight. I was told you'd only ever be a stepping stone for someone to be better off of. Women shouldn't fight. It's disgusting. I've then moved gyms, and I've still had, sexist remarks and been made to feel uncomfortable. There's no female changing rooms, but if I'm getting changed in front of everyone, I'm told to put my body away. There's, I bring up the fact I'm on my period while I'm training. Can you just keep an eye out? I'd feel uncomfortable if I was to leak or anything, but I want to crack on with training even though I'm feeling horrendous. And people are walking away from that conversation because they're so uncomfortable with themselves as boys, I could be sparring, I could be wearing shorts and I'm told how my ass is looking. I could be told I've put on weight or I've lost weight, even if I'm not cutting weight for a fight. I mean, my fight hasn't had as much attention as some of the boys' fights would get coming up in the gym, where I'm in a very big gym with a lot of big characters. There's not adapting your training when you're on your period or coming up to your period, because men can't even have a conversation about what colour tampons to buy for their daughters, let alone how to approach training. It's outdated. It's disgusting. Cutting weight when you're on your period. Women are slated for missing weight. I mean, have you ever tried cutting weight when you're on your period? No, because you haven't even got over it. So shut the fuck up. It's my nutrition has to be different. I'm still breastfeeding and I'm training. I could go on. It's insane. It is insane. But I want to thank you for opening up conversation on it, because it is something that plagues the gym. We should all be doing a lot better, whether that's being able to sit and have a conversation without being offended as a man and a woman's approached you, whether putting bins and a basket of tampons and sanitary towels in your toilet at your facility, whether that's putting up some posters on the fucking walls about how you can signpost women to report abuse, leaving a notebook in the women's changing room so they can make a note if anyone's made them feel uncomfortable anonymously. It's bare minimum shit. We're human beings, and I have as much right to feel comfortable on those mats as anyone with a penis. It's and it's about time we just fucking do better and keep having conversations about it. And I know as a mum to a little boy, I'm sure as hell going to do a lot fucking better than what's going on. And it's really, even we're battling our own instinct. Men have this ego, they have these testosterone levels that makes fighting, sparring, scrapping fun. It feeds your male ego. That is instinctual. That's primitive. That's hunter-gatherer instinct, right?
Yeah.
Some days I have high testosterone levels, yeah, because I'm at a certain point in my cycle. I feel fantastic. Other times, I couldn't think of anything fucking worse. So I have to mentally put one foot in front of the other until I'm at the gym, and then get through the warm-up, and then get through the first round, and get through the second. I'm being teeped in the stomach and I'm on my period, or I'm being punched in the chest and I've not breastfed for 3 days because my little boy's been at his dad's and I'm in agony. And no, you know, I can't even say shit because, oh, well, you want to be treated like one of the boys, stop moaning, you know, you want equal. And so it's just like a daily battle and all these things. And I'm already fighting. I'm already sparring. You know, you guys are already beating me up in rounds. I don't need this level of exclusion or isolation from the rest of the team. You know, you can think about it and it gets overwhelming on where to even start and how to improve this as a situation. But I think just having these conversations, and some people are going to listen to this and they might start a conversation in their gym, and we just got to do what we can, you know. But I am always game for talking about it. So you can fire away with questions anytime. You know, treat me like one of the boys. If they're doing 20 sprints, I'll do 20, not 15. What are you talking about? You know, then I had a child and realised my body is completely different to men. I'm not a small man. That's not what I am. I'm not the equivalent of a male flyweight. I'm not. So absolutely, we want the same opportunities. We want the equal opportunities, but we have to approach things differently. And, you know, I'm not going to pretend that I haven't got to do that. You're right. It's about tailoring the training slightly, or the nutrition, or the behaviour even. You know, if you want to have lads talk when you're in the lads changing room, do that. If there's some girls present, how about think about the words coming out of your mouth? It's crazy. It's uncomfortable, but you know, it's not going to stop me stepping on the mats, because actually I'm a really good training partner for half the boys, for all of the boys even, you know, all the grown-ass men, because I haven't got the natural strength, power, athleticism in comparison to the men. I'm athletic now and I'm strong, right? But I'm never going to perform the same. So us women have to get mad technical. So actually you're missing out on some really good experience with us, because we don't rely on our strength, power, you know, speed. It's technique and skill based. You know, we're more resilient than you are half the time. So we are some really good training partners. And I think, you know, if you can shift your perspective and see it that way, then maybe we'll all start gelling a bit better, you know?
Do you think Oliveira was unfairly stripped of his title as well?
If it was like in the history of the sport, 5 people had missed weight, by half a pound or a pound, okay, those are the anomalies, right? But it's a really fucking common thing. It's a really hard thing we're all out here doing. It's not healthy. It's not good. We're already doing a really unhealthy sport, right? But you're getting punched in the head. It is what it is. Why are we adding, you know, just more stress on our bodies all the time with this and the pressure of it? I understand there needs to be weight divisions, but then it's a title fight, isn't it? So that's the dues you pay for that opportunity. So it is a tough one. I do think maybe the whole situation of the weight division and the cutting weight needs to be revised going forward, in the modern sport of MMA.
What can we expect from you, you know, going into your bout on the 8th?
I think you're going to see a less hesitant version of myself. I think it's going to be quite obvious and raw that I'm fighting all of my past and all of my own battles and all of my doubts and demons out there. And it's not really anything personal to my opponent. I feel like it's 9 minutes to prove myself, you know. I'm sad it's not 5 rounds, and I've not got all 5 rounds. It's only 3. I just think you're going to see someone put it all together that's worked damn hard this whole time, and I'm just all about proving that we can all do this. You know, there's been so many reasons for me not to fight again. There's been so many. It's felt like signs that the universe is trying to tell me not to fight again. And every single one of those I've stepped on over. And so anyone else can do that as well. And I'm really aware of where fighting comes from for me now. I've processed a lot of my trauma. I'm in the middle of a, you know, investigation. I'm in the middle of a load of mental health shit. And I'm really fighting for the times that I didn't. I'm really fighting for the women that don't feel they have the strength to. I'm really standing up for myself the times I didn't. And that's what this fight is for me. And so I think that's going to be seen by even people that don't understand my journey or what I've come from or what I've been through. I think it's going to come across as raw and human, and you're going to feel that emotion. And I'm also excited, you know, put on a technical fight. I've worked hard on my skill. I've come a long way since moving to BST. You know, like at the beginning of the year, I've been training with some really high class level fighters. It's been such a good experience. I've sparred so many different people. We've gloved up, Vaselined up. I've had black eyes. You know, I've had fights, many fights before even getting to the 8th. You know, so I'm just excited to show all of that. And it's not about showboating for me. It's not about telling someone I'm going to knock them out. It's not about anyone else but me. And I think that's the beauty in fighting, especially for women in the sport. It's not always naturally, like, it comes as naturally and as distinctive for us, that testosterone built egotistical fighting. So I think that's where the beauty in it lies for me.
If you weren't training, I mean, if you weren't fighting, if you weren't like a fighter, what other sort of profession would you be out there? You know, what else would you?
Oh my gosh,
would you be out there doing?
I don't know. The world's mine, isn't it? So many options. I've got the personality that I'd pick something, and whatever I want to do well, I do well at, because I just commit myself to. So I really don't know. I am passionate about women in sports, in male-dominated industries. I'm really passionate about helping movements in that way. So maybe something along those lines.
Maybe something around there, yeah.
Yeah, maybe some like public speaking to do with that. I love being a mum. Absolutely love it. I really am into, you know, the gentle parenting and natural living. So maybe running like a forest school for kids would be cool. I grew up horse riding, so even getting back into competing in eventing and show jumping. It's anything. I don't know. Nice. CrossFit, I don't know. I'll just pick something and give it a go, innit? And then see if I like it.
You're a woman of many talents. So and we can see from some of the things you mentioned there. Is there anyone you'd like to thank? Your sponsors, your team, your coaches, people that you want to show gratitude to? Please, the floor is yours.
I am currently absolutely sponsorless. I am fumbling my way through this new full-time training, full-time single parenting life of mine. You know, I thank my coaches for all of their support and their coaching. My support network of friends has been incredible, even though they don't live local, they live back in Essex. They have been incredibly supportive in all the ways, whether it's FaceTiming me every day, coming up and having Odin for a few hours, you know, just pampering me when I'm tired, all of that sort of thing. I could not be doing all of this without them. And I say I'm a single parent, right? But I have this support network of friends that I have never seen anything like before. You know, they really give me strength, and they really just know what I need when I don't even know what I need for myself. Yeah, I don't know. Thank myself for all the hard work. I mean, my little boy as well, you know, he puts up with so much. It's incredible for him to grow up around the gym.
We see him in your gym pictures all the time, and it's
but really, you know, he takes sacrifices too. It's like I'm spinning 10 plates at once, and right now, you know, the fight one and the sparring and the training has got to be spinning the fastest. So his one's maybe dropping off, wobbling a little bit. We've not had so much quality time together outside the gym. I've been very tired, so quite unenthusiastic to run around the park all day long. And yet all he does is wake up every day and just show me unconditional love and just forgiveness when I lose my temper or I'm tired. So that inspires me, and I'm really grateful to have him in that way.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on the FightWeek Show. Really appreciate it. You've been an absolute sport, and you know, thank you for some of the topics that you touched on as well. Hopefully people see and they start thinking about at least moving towards change. And thank you to everybody that's watched us live, everybody that's supporting us, everybody that's supporting the show. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much. And up onto the next video. Hasta la vista, people. Salute. Peace.
Yo, guys, this is Adrian Yanez telling you to use those handles. Hit, click, like, and subscribe. Fuck yeah, dudes. If y'all don't do it, man, fucking catch the hands, bro.